You are now tuned in to the Generation Y podcast.
What's going on, everybody? This is Jordan Miller with the Generation Y podcast, and we are super excited. For one, do not forget to like, rate, review, share, do all of the things. We've got extra voices in the background because it's going to be dope today. We got a wonderful guest in our presence. Make some noise for Ashlee, everybody.
Yay,
Okay,
yay.
yes. How you doing today?
I'm good.
Good. You said this is your first time doing a podcast?
Oh, yes. I'm a newbie.
Okay, perfect. But you're not a newbie to performing and being on stage
Nah.
and doing all the
Nah.
things.
Oh, yeah, nah.
People know you around here. So, first of all, we've known each other for a minute and known of each other and everything that each one of us has been doing. And for one, you have, just so the people know, for one, we'll get this. First of all, we want to introduce and give recognition to the people in the background,
Yes.
right? We got Jameson and JJ.
Oh, yes, my boys.
Your
yes,
boys.
my babies.
How old are they?
1 and 2.
1 and 2. Okay, they're beautiful, by the
Thank
way.
you.
Yes,
I'm very blessed. I'm
definitely,
very blessed.
definitely.
Do I need to come and get you?
It looks like,
It
okay,
looks-
for people who are
Give me
not
just a
seeing, it looks like, for one, she said that one of them is quarantined in the stroller, and the other one is just rocking that stroller like crazy. So it's amazing. So first of all, we haven't had a baby on our podcast. So I think this will be the first time that we're going to have a child younger than the age of 18. So we're going to have the parent consent. Ashlee, is it cool if your child is on? And this is Jameson, yes?
Yes.
Everybody say what's up to Jameson. He's super dope. And he's the one that's how old?
He is 1.
He's 1?
Yes.
Perfect. And Coco Melon for the win.
We're going to try and keep it
Shout out to Coco Melon if
Yes.
you can. Keep supporting. All right, so Ashlee, for one, you got amazing kids, and I appreciate you coming during this whole quarantine pandemic type thing.
Yeah.
How's that affected you? You said electricity, yes?
Oh, yeah. We are day 11 without power right now
Jeez.
from the October ice storm, which
Okay.
is great.
Right.
We're okay. It's been an awesome reset for us.
Right.
We've got 2 kids, so technology is always around. It's always
Right.
on. But without having electricity, no electricity, we've cut technology. We've played more. We've read more books.
Yeah.
And you're okay. But yeah, no. Other than that, it's really other than not having power, not being able
Yeah.
to turn lights on and shower at night, it hasn't been too terribly bad.
Right.
But it's been good.
That's good. That's good. First of all, I want to say, just for the people that are getting to know you during this podcast, that you have an amazing singing voice.
Thank you.
And how long have you been singing?
Since I was 3.
Okay.
That's genuine. That's not like I've been doing this for my whole life. No,
Right.
That's a real thing.
Right.
I grew up in church.
Yeah.
So I went to a private school, and there's a picture of me when I was in my kindergarten graduation, being front row on that mic and making sure that my voice was on that microphone.
Right.
Not my personality today, but
Okay.
it showed my determination. I knew exactly where I was supposed to be. So
Yeah.
I've been doing this for a while.
That's dope. That's
Yes,
dope.
for
And
sure.
so we know each other from OP days.
Yep.
And doing open mic and
Yes.
performing in that way and
Oh, yeah.
everything. How has that kind of culture and environment helped you in your singing stuff, or was it just like, you know what, I'm gonna get up here and do my thing because people keep asking me to do it type thing?
It's a little of both. I'm
Okay.
not gonna lie. When people know that you have a talent, they don't hesitate to call it out,
Yeah.
especially if they believe in you, which
Yeah.
I appreciate. But it can be very nerve-wracking.
Definitely.
So being at OP and on a stage helped me with stage fright, helped
Yeah.
me with just getting over regular jitters and knowing how to be myself
Mm-hmm.
through covers of other people's music.
Right.
So it was a definite learning experience. It was something I needed. The music industry can be really judgmental and difficult to
Yeah.
maneuver around. And so finding your own voice is extremely important, but also very difficult.
Definitely.
So I think I was able to find my path through
Right.
OP. So it was
Yeah.
awesome.
That's dope. And
Yeah.
you were like a fan favorite. Okay. So everybody's like, Ashlee, Ashlee,
yeah.
getting up there and singing and
Good
stuff.
Lord, yes.
And everybody would go crazy, you know,
Yes.
like you knew, I mean, this was a conversation we had earlier, you know,
Mhm.
you knew when everybody was going to go nuts if
I
you
did.
hit a run or if you did
Yeah.
a certain type of song or
Mhm.
whatever. And you're like, this is going to shut it down.
This is it. Yes.
Right, right.
This is my moment.
That's
yeah.
dope. That's dope. And right now you currently have a dope photography business.
Yes.
What you specialize in?
Oh goodness.
You're saying
Motherhood is my specialty, which is
obviously,
yes,
right?
which is a wide range of things. I
Yeah.
mean, that goes all the way from having your first child to having 17 grandchildren.
Yeah.
Whatever that looks like for you. I capture all ends of motherhood.
Yeah.
Which is a very cool thing about my job because I'm able to meet a lot of different people
Right.
and talk with different moms about their journey and get advice for these crazy kiddos. So,
Right.
It's good.
That's dope. And how long have you been doing your business?
2 years.
What got you into photography? That sounds super random, to be honest.
It honestly it wasn't something like, man, I've been wanting to do this for a long time.
Yeah.
It was I had just had my oldest JJ, you're okay. You're okay. I had just had my oldest JJ and I was just bored.
Right.
I was suffering from postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety.
Right.
But I already had depression and anxiety beforehand, so it was just heightened.
Right.
And I needed to get out of the house. I needed something like for myself that
Yeah.
wasn't just my kids or my husband.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started and things just kind of fell into my lap. My friend had an extra camera body that she just let me use, so I didn't have to spend buku amount of money
Right.
in the beginning. So it was very natural the way it all panned out, and now I'm working towards my 3rd year, and
Wow.
it's the best thing I could have done for myself.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And so, like, creating that outlet for you, even though you, like, did you have a passion for photography before?
No, I know, like, looking back on my Facebook, I have...
I'm going to move this closer to you. Just
Sorry.
No, you're good. I want people to hear that voice.
Looking back through my Facebook and my memories, I have, like, a photography... like
The
album.
eye for it.
Yeah, like taking pictures of flowers and like the sky and things like that. So it was definitely there around that digital camera age time when
Right.
when I was a teenager. But outside of that, no, I have a passion for people.
Yeah.
And I have a passion for creating moments and creating memories from those moments. And so being able to do that and capture it and give you that to keep forever is very important to me. And it makes my job so much fun.
Yeah. That's super
Yeah.
dope. I know that, I mean, everything has a purpose, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's cool for people. And we'll get more into your story because you mentioned it just a minute ago. But, you know what I'm saying? For people that don't have those outlets, whether it's singing or photography or whatever, I think it's dope that you kind of made your own lane just because like you needed something to escape from the depression that you were dealing with after your child, but then even before that. And so I would like to go into that a little bit if you're cool with that.
Sure.
And so like, and you've told us, me and Kelsey, like your story a little bit, or not a little bit, you went all in the other day,
All
but
in.
like, but it's amazing because like, I didn't even know, you know what I'm saying? And seeing you on stage and killing it. And like, I mean, you wouldn't think, you know what I'm saying? Ashlee has a raw, deep story, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so kind of go back to, I don't know how far you want to go back. You don't have to go crazy, but I would say like even for one, dealing with both races because you are mixed and everything. And so like go even from that because that started early too.
Oh yeah.
And so I would go from that and especially that time that you were experiencing bullying, everything. So
For sure. Well, I mean, truthfully, everything starts back, to the moment I was in my mom's womb. My mom's
we going
family,
all the way back.
all the way back. All the way.
There
we
we
might
go.
as well. I won't take too long. But
no, you're good. You're good.
they were actually asking questions, things like, I want to see how big her lips are. We want to see how black she is, how big her nose is going to be. They expected the typical features.
Stereotypes,
Typical stereotypes.
Yeah.
And so that was like branded into me at that time. And then, I grew up mainly around my dad's side of the family, who's African American. And I grew up, I attended a school that was predominantly African American when
Yeah.
I was in elementary school, and I was bullied for looking different than everyone else. That was honestly living in Raleigh, North Carolina. That is the common demographic is African American people, which is great.
Yeah, yeah.
Completely different from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
definitely different.
Right.
When I say I was the only girl who was of lighter skin in that school, I was the only girl besides the teachers.
Oh, wow.
And so it was difficult to live that way. It was difficult. You know, girls would say they were my friends, and then they would, you know, follow me and hit me on the playground.
Yeah, yeah.
And I never said anything. I never really stuck up for myself. It felt normal.
Really?
It felt, I think just because of everything that was going on with my family, it felt normal to receive that from people I didn't know.
Wow.
And so I never really fought for myself. I never asked for help or anything like that. I just dealt with it on my own. And I'm an only child, so I feel like I kind
They're
of...
talking to each other. That's what it is.
His show stopped. Yeah, it was very normal for me to take that from people I didn't know because my own family was giving it to me. So it was common nature. And like I said, I didn't fight against it nor for myself.
Wow.
And so I just kind of grew up in that. We moved here to Oklahoma when I was 11. And when I say there are like multiple pivotal moments in my life where my mindset just changed because of the actions of people around me, that was the majority of my childhood.
Wow.
And one of those things was moving here to Oklahoma because my grandfather was sick, just to find out that wasn't the case. And so there was a lot of manipulation in my life, a lot of distrust and just distrust amongst my family members. And so it was hard for me to have like a confidant, especially at a young age. You don't talk to your friends like that when you're 11 and 12. At least I didn't.
Right.
And I was making new friends because I had moved states. And so it was difficult for sure to maneuver through those things. But once I moved here to Oklahoma, when I was in middle school, I was introduced to finding a new way to deal with my problems, and that was self-harm.
Gotcha.
My friends literally were just like, hey, this is what we're doing to deal with our junk. You know, I don't know if this will help you. Maybe you should try. And I was actually in class the first time I tried.
In class?
I was in class. We were watching a movie that day, and I took something from class and just started going at it. And I noticed that I was able to like shift my attention to taking care of myself instead of thinking about what my issues were.
Wow.
It was a very sick mindset. You know, it was very detrimental to my mental health.
Yeah.
And when it was discovered that was how I was treating myself, I was met with anger and frustration instead of love and compassion.
Gotcha.
And so I really beat myself up for it. I felt bad. I mean, like I said, I was an only child, so if I let my parents down, I felt like I let my world down.
Yeah.
My parents were everything, still are everything to me. And so I would beat myself up emotionally and then still physically, you know, taking on that pain. And that carried all the way through high school.
Wow.
Turned into an eating disorder. I felt like I was, you know, bigger than my friends, and I was a smooth size 14. I mean, I'd kill to look, you know, smooth size 14. And, you know, back then that was not normal. It's okay. It was more normal for me to judge my body and want to be thin and fit in high school than it was to just love my body. Now we're in the age of love yourself and, you know, accept your curves. And back then that's just not how it was. So I tried starving myself. I'd eat maybe one meal a day, and that was the meal around my parents.
That's crazy.
It was wild, and I had friends who knew what I was doing. I had a boyfriend who knew what I was doing, and nobody really was concerned enough to say something. And I mean, I went through abusive relationships with boyfriends in high school, physically abusive, mentally abusive. I mean, the list really does truly go on and on. And so like high school, there's a big portion of that I just blocked out. I don't remember my sophomore year of high school. I don't Really remember too much of senior year.
Wow.
I remember showing up to my first day of senior year in sweats and a t-shirt, and I was like, it's because I'm a senior, I don't care. And it was really just a lot of mental health issues.
Right.
And so it's crazy to talk about these things and look back on these things because I forgot where I came from.
Yeah.
You know, I see myself now as a strong, mentally independent fighter, someone who's been through a lot of turmoil, a lot of pain, and I'm really proud of myself, but it's very humbling to take a step back and go back through like the things that really changed me. And made me who I am. Because some of those things were detrimental. Some of those things made me push friends away, made me push people away that had been there for years. Some of those things were, some of those things destroyed me. Some of the decisions I made, and most of those decisions were made in a bad mental state because I was upset with myself, because I was depressed, because I was anxious. And so I just made rash decisions most of the time. And, you know, coming from a multiracial family, there's an automatic divide, whether it's said or not. And for my family, there was a divide before I was born. And so it was very hard to fix that gap. And that was something I tried to do for years, you know, fix that, be the glue for that. And, you know, a 15-year-old is not strong enough to be the glue for a family.
And they're not supposed to be.
They're not supposed to be. They're
definitely.
not. And, you know, my mom passed away in 2016. I was 21. Rocked my whole world, rocked my entire world. My mom was 43 and
young.
Very young. She had a lot of life to live. She never got to see her grandkids. I mean, she sees them now, but it's just not the same. You know, it's not the same as her being here and loving on them and me being able to call her in the middle of the night. And so, like, that one moment, it took me for a spin. I mean, I was depressed from then until maybe 6 months ago.
Wow.
Dealing with anxiety, dealing with stress, and I mean, I lost a lot of weight, which is great for me. It was awesome for me, but he's tired, guys. I'm sorry.
You good?
Come here, baby. No, it's okay. Okay. So yeah, it was. Losing mom was really difficult, and it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot about myself. It taught me a lot about my relationship with her. I don't think I'm the only girl in America that has a rough relationship with their mom or had a rough relationship with their mom. And unfortunately, at the time of her passing, we were right in the beginning stages of fixing everything. So, I don't know. It's just being without a mom at 26 years old with 2 young kids is not what anybody expects, I don't think. But it's something that I have to live with, and I have to fight through it. And the reason that I fight is for my kids. It's for myself. I think fighting for yourself is important. I think people think that that's selfish sometimes, but being a person that never fought for themselves before and never you know, took the time to, you know, to speak for myself or had people to really advocate for her. It's important for me to fight for myself every day. That's how I get through my mental health. That's how I get through everything is I'm doing this for me and I'm doing this for my kids. But I'm the first motivation.
That's dope. Ashlee, you got an amazing story, and I don't know. It's dope to see. For a while, like it seemed like you fell off the map, and I was like, where's Ashlee? Like, what's she doing? You know what I'm saying? And to like for everything to come full circle, like right now, like I think is pretty amazing. And I would like to ask, like, what's some of the things? I mean, I know you have photography and everything, but like even for people that may be watching that are going through like a lot of stuff and a lot of things, like, I mean, I would say even for you were talking about that it's like even for past stuff, right? That sounded like he's really interested.
Very tired. Very tired.
In that earring. But But like you're kind of hinting around that like you never really dealt with a lot of the hurt that you were going through in the past.
Yeah.
And so it just kept piling on and kept piling on, and finding those ways to cope, even if they were unhealthy, is like you found those ways, right? But you said like since 6 months until 6 months ago, what are the things that kind of helped you get over, besides just the, you know what I'm saying, the photography and kind of like filling your time with things, but like what's some things mentally that's kind of helped you be able to get over that?
It was taking time for myself, knowing that it was important for me to, a lot of people hate this phrase, but self-care is important.
And why? That doesn't make sense to me.
Why they don't like it? Or why? Well, because it's so popular right now. It's my self-care day. Yeah, it's just, it's typical.
Right.
But it's truth.
Yeah.
Self-care is so important. And so for me, you know, having 2 kids, it had been 2 years since I had painted my nails.
Wow.
You just sat down at home and just painted my fingernails. And so I put that in my calendar. I put that in my planner, showed my husband. I said, look, I'm painting my nails on this day. And it has a sticker that says me time.
Right.
And that's what I did. I painted my nails, and it looks, it feels great.
Yes.
But like, truthfully, it goes back to yourself. Like, doing things for you, fighting for yourself. I had to remember that I'm a whole person.
Yeah.
I have a lot of people I take care of throughout the day, every day. You know, my responsibility, of course, is to my husband, and my children. My father is still around, and we have other family as well, but I can't forget about me.
Definitely.
And so doing the things that made me happy, like for me, with music being such a forefront of my mind, I was constantly listening to music that made me happy.
Yeah.
And I turned off the TV. You know, being an adult, I started watching the news and, you know, getting into everything. And I started.
That'll stress anybody out.
Stress anybody out, man.
Right,
and I was like, man, I got to watch the 7 a.m. news and the 12 o'clock news. I can't forget the 6 o'clock.
That's how you know you made it to adulthood, right?
I had to catch the news.
Right.
But now, you know, I started watching the NBA games with my husband, and we found that we had a great hobby together, and I talk more basketball now than he does with anybody else.
That's dope.
And, you know.
And that builds y'all together too.
Yeah, for sure. Like prioritizing things that are important to us. That made me happy because I saw that it made him happy. But more so doing more things for myself, going out and having coffee, catching up with a friend. I mean, it could be anything. Walking around Target is my favorite place. So I'm constantly there, just doing things that bring me joy. That was what was most important. And getting outside.
Right.
Honestly, I don't know what it is about that vitamin D, but I'd walk outside.
Huge.
It's huge. I'd walk outside and feel those sun rays on me, and it changed my mood. But it was a mental, intentional thing. It had to be, okay, I'm doing this so I can be happier. I'm doing this because it brings me joy. Not, okay, well, let me go do this. So I said I was going to paint my nails. No, I was like, all right, this is my time. I'm excited about this time because I'm going to be a better person when I finish.
Thanks.
And having that mindset added to the value of what I was doing.
Wow.
So I truly think that it's just loving yourself more than you do already, if you do at all. And that's real. I mean, there was a long time I did not love myself. I did not think I was worthy of love. Being in that abusive relationship in high school, I was like, this is who I'm going to be with for the rest of my life. No one else is going to love me. I remember thinking those things while being thrown to a door, thinking,
that's crazy.
This is the love that I deserve. This is as good as it's going to get for me. And it took one person believing in me, and that was myself.
Wow.
One person. Crazy. So even if I didn't have anybody else, I was still able to make it through.
That's real.
Yeah.
That's dope. Ashlee, I appreciate you, yo.
I
appreciate you coming through and bringing the crew.
Of course.
I would like to say, like, I mean, since you do have a business, I would like you to shout that out. Tell people where they can follow you, and everything like that. For wait, one thing. I mean, to the listeners and to the audience, like, is there like one thing that you would like to leave them with, whether it's a quote or whether it's just like something that you personally live by, or we can let JJ do a quote
JJ
too.
sound like he want to give a quote.
right. Just like anybody, like let's say you see yourself in somebody that's like watching. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What would you want to tell either your old self or the person that's going through those situations?
Let joy interrupt your day.
Mm.
Whether that be the sun and or the sky and how pretty it is at sunset, and it makes you smile. Remember that's joy.
Yeah.
Whether that be someone paying for your $5 coffee that you have plenty of money for, let that be joy interruption.
It's like receiving things.
Just receiving it and opening your eyes to things that you wouldn't normally be open to. Things that would frustrate me, like when my kids want to be all up on me and don't want anybody else.
Right.
Normally that would bother me, but I have to remember I'm their security.
Yeah.
I'm their rescue in some ways.
Yeah.
So find the joy even in the things that are
annoying.
Yeah,
definitely.
for sure.
Especially, I mean, I've got my kid too. Like, and there's some things like that are super like if that wasn't my kid, you know what I'm saying? I'll be like, you know what I'm saying? You know, but like he just does things like that's super irritating. But like right at the end of it, he sees that I'm getting annoyed, and then he'll give me a look, like he knows he's sorry.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And then it just switches my mindset so quick, and I'm like,
yes,
yo, you really lucky I love you.
Exactly.
You know? No, I'm playing. But that's real though. Find happiness. And like finding happiness is like a step to being healthy. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Like I know that fussing right there is because he's tired. So
Right,
that's
right,
my
right.
joy. Because we're going to get a nap when we finish.
Exactly. On the car ride home.
On
just
the car
knocked.
ride,
Yeah,
yes.
That's what's up. So for one, just while we get JJ going, if you can give your tag, where can people follow you and all that kind of stuff?
On Instagram, I am GM Studios OK. And on Facebook, you can also find me at GM Studios. That's GM and Studios. I do everything, so hit me up. Oh, baby.
Excellent. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming out once again. And for one, I mean, to give a shout out, you're going to be helping out with Generation Y.
Yeah.
And we appreciate you coming on board and being a part of the mission and the impact. So you have not only an amazing gift and talent and everything, but your heart is amazing and everything lines up, you know what I'm saying, with our vision on impacting people. And so I'm appreciative of you and grateful for you. So
thank you for having me.
Yeah, definitely. And so we just want to, for one, remind you to rate, review, share with everybody that you know, just so we can, for one, help this story be able to touch other lives as well, but then also for you to be engaged and updated on everything Generation Y. We want to say thank you so much for everybody that's supporting, and we'll see you next time. Red button.